All right, hello everyone. I am Officer Nelson, and congratulations, you're watching this video because the Mesa Police Department has invited you to complete your eSOPH packet. Now, I'm probably going to include the closed captions. They're probably going to be right here, and it's going to say eSOPH. The correct way to say it is eSOPH. So there's your first little tip. Your eSOPH packet is your background check. Obviously, that's necessary in you becoming a police officer. This stage of the hiring process is going to take you a while. It's going to take us a while to investigate you and verify all the information that you put in the packet, but us being willing to do that is a good sign. So congratulations, you're doing pretty good so far. We are going to do an eSOPH packet together. So this is probably going to be a lengthy video. Neither of us are going to be that entertained, but I'm going to kind of try to stay, I'm a recruiter, so I'm going to stay casual and keep you as engaged as I can. But you probably already know this, but I am going to remind you one more time. This is a really formal, serious part of the process, and you should treat it as so. I've been asked to remind you that your eSOPH packet is going to become a record. It's going to be a record that gets compared to any background check you've done in the past, and it'll be compared to any background check you do in the future. It needs to be correct, and it needs to be honest. I don't think I need to tell most people that, but I just want to remind you that this is really serious. So chances are I'm not going to keep most of you during this long video. You're probably kind of going to get the gist of it and then turn this video off and do your thing. And I encourage you to do so if you're comfortable. But while I do have you here, I kind of want to go over some little tips that I wrote down that you need to know. So I went over that this is serious. First thing I want to let you know, first tip number one, start now. You only have 12 days to complete this packet. It's going to take you a long time. Start it immediately. Do not wait till the last minute. You won't get an extension. You're kind of demonstrating to the department that you don't want this job that bad, and this isn't a job that you should go into half-heartedly. So if you miss a deadline, you won't be given an extension. The other reason you want to start immediately is you may run into an issue with accessing the packet. I am on a normal, like, Windows-based operating system. You can't do this on a cell phone, and you can't do this on an Apple product. So you're going to need, if you don't have just a normal PC, you're going to need to coordinate getting onto one of those. Like I said, this thing's going to take a while. I don't recommend doing it all in one sitting. What I did, because I did this kind of recently, just take a few hours for the first couple of days so you can stay engaged and stay, paying attention to details and not have your brain get kind of fogged up and get to the point where, like, I don't know what I just read. So do it in sections. Don't try to cram it, because it's not going to be accurate if you're cramming it. So yeah, that's our first step, is start right away. Second step, again, those of you that are going to leave this video, you feel confident in the second step, which is following directions. The eSOPH packet is going to tell you what to do. It's just kind of daunting to, read through the whole thing and follow all the directions, but you're going to have to. Just the same way when you're a police officer, you're going to have to read, statutes and case law and follow all the details and all that good stuff. So this is a really good opportunity to show the Mesa Police Department that you can follow directions. So being that this is a background check, I'm going to loop to my third tip, which is to be as specific as possible. I think you probably already know that your background check or your eSOPH packet is going to have several questionnaires in which you're going to have to detail different incidences or events that occurred in your life, and you need to be specific. The reason for that is that's what this process requires. It's what we require of you. And you are going to be interviewed about the information in this background packet. So if you meet with your background investigator and you're talking about your incident, and while you guys are having a conversation, you give way more detail in that conversation than you did in your eSOPH packet, that's probably going to be a red flag. That's not a good thing. You're going to want to dig deep and sit down and be like, when did that happen? When did I get that speeding ticket? Or when did I get in that fight? I need to kind of figure out, exactly where I was, exactly the time and date, exactly what I did. That kind of leads to my fourth tip, which is if it's uncomfortable, you're doing it right. No one is perfect. I'm not perfect. The purpose of all this is to demonstrate that you are honest. You don't have any disqualifiers in your background. Whatever unfortunate things are in your background, we want to verify that you understand that the behavior or the decision is no longer acceptable as a person who's becoming a police officer. And we want to verify that you have made changes in your lifestyle or your decision making that no longer match the decision making of whatever unfortunate thing you did in the past. So yeah, I think I kind of gave you a good gist of what to expect. This is just going to be a really long walk. None of this is going to be a sprint, but it's going to be a long walk. So there's no other way to do it than to take the first step. So what we are going to do, okay, so we are looking at the email that you received from the Mesa Police Department with your link to your eSOPH packet. So as you can see here in this red lettering, I already went over this, but you can't do this on a cell phone and you can't do this on an Apple or Mac. And it's recommended that you use Google Chrome. So we are going to click the link. So my screen may look a little bit different from yours. Initially, when you get your packet, you're going to verify your identity, your name, all that good stuff, and create a password. And the reason for that is, like I said earlier, you're probably going to log in and out of this, and it's going to take you a while or a couple of days to complete this. I already did that, so I am going to log in. And it goes without saying, I'm not going to use any of my real information. I think my social on here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. So okay, so I applied to be a police officer recruit, so that is what I'm gonna click on here. Okay, so we have arrived at our first opportunity to do a great job at following directions. So we are looking at the waiver of liability and release form. You are going to need to print this out, read the entire thing, and put your pens and pencils away. Don't sign anything with a pencil, but like I'm saying, don't sign this yet. You have to take this to a notary. All of the directions and details are actually right here. So I'm actually going to go ahead and read it for you. This agreement must be submitted in hard copy. So obviously that means that you're going to have to print this out and have it on hand because you're going to need to give it to your background investigator at some point. So you need to print the agreement, complete it per instructions, and upload it to the correct location within the agreements folder. You will continue to see this page until you have uploaded the document. Save the original hard copy as your background investigator may want to inspect it. So like I said, guys, you're going to need to print this. If you don't have a printer, go ahead and save it and take it to an office supply store or somewhere where you can get it printed. You are not going to sign it yet. You need to take this to a notary. Now, a lot of us have not used a notary before, so I'm going to kind of explain where you can get something notarized. Typically, you can visit any bank. So wherever you bank with, most bankers are notaries. Or they'll usually have a notary on staff. So call your bank or visit your bank. Say, hey, I need a notary service. There's usually a small fee for their services, but you can also go to different stores that do like shipping and handling, that kind of thing. I think you get my gist. But a notary is just basically going to look at your ID, so you need to bring your ID to your notary appointment. They're going to verify your signature. So they're going to say, "Yep, you are Officer Nelson. I see your ID right here. You can go ahead and sign this paper. I'm going to sign that I verified who you are." So it's just like a really serious signature. That's kind of how I like to explain it. So, and as this said, you're going to keep seeing this thing until you upload it. So I printed it out. I took it to the notary. I waited to sign it in front of the notary. The notary notarized the document. Now it's good. It's ready to go. I now need to scan it and upload it in the agreements folder. Now let's talk about the agreements folder. So I'm actually gonna visit you on the screen here. So this document needs to go into the agreements folder. That's going to be different from all your other documents. So make sure you follow that direction and get that done. So again, I didn't have a scanner. If you don't have a scanner, again, you can visit a library or an office supply store and get that signed and then get that uploaded. So let's see here. And keep this in a safe place, because you're going to need to bring it to your background investigator. So let's see. Okay, I think I beat the dead horse on this. I think we know what to do with this guy. So we're going to go to continue. Okay. All right. So I'm special and I get extra time to do this, but you only have 12 days, so you better get started. So let's kind of go over the different parts of our eSOPH packet here. So here we have our tasks. This is just a tool that we can use to make sure that we are completing this packet properly. We are going to look at our first task. So first task is asking, I have read the entire instructions page located in the agreements folder. So that's going to bring me to my next part of our eSOPH packet, is the agreements folder. And the agreements folder is also where we're going to upload the waiver of liability and release form. So as you can see right here, it has upload. So when you have that document ready to go, that's where you're going to upload it. But our first task told us to read the instructions, so that's what we're going to do. I am not going to read this entire thing because I think I will leave all of you, but you need to make sure that you read this. So let's go ahead and navigate back to our tasks. As you can see, a lot of this is going to be redundant. This is just a tool, like I said, to verify that you are completing your packet correctly. So we are actually just going to go ahead and get to the questionnaire portion. And as you can see, there's several parts in this questionnaire, but we're going to do them one at a time. Again, we are not going to go through every single little thing on this, because I think you guys, for the most part, not for the most part, you guys know what to do. You know how to follow directions. So even here, this is an opportunity for us to demonstrate that we're paying attention. So our full name is going to be first, Emily, comma, middle, I'm going to make something up, Marie, last, Nelson. Notice the commas. We're just going to match the exact format of each question. So let's see. Now I'm going to go ahead and kind of navigate to some of the things that trip people up. Early on in our questionnaire on references, leave here. So we are going to put a lot of people on our questionnaire. When I say people, I mean family members, co-workers, roommates, all that good stuff. In this particular tab on your references, you actually don't want to put people that you're going to put in other questionnaires for like employment or residence history, because we don't want to double up. So it actually says here, do not list individuals who you have listed in other questionnaires, such as coworkers, blah, 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 blah. On this tab, you're going to want to pick people that you've known for a long time that can vouch for you. Family, friends, coaches, neighbors, that kind of thing. You just like every other person you're going to put in this questionnaire, you want to reach out to them and get all of their current contact information. So their phone number, email address, mailing address, all that good stuff. And you also want to let everybody know, hey, you're probably going to hear from the Mesa Police Department. I am doing a background check with them. And again, this is probably going to be maybe not super comfortable for certain, past coworkers or stuff like that. You're probably going to have to talk to people that maybe haven't heard from you in a while, or maybe you don't even want to talk to, but it's important, and you're showing how badly you want this job. So but yeah, the references, the people that you choose for references, those are going to be people that say, oh yeah, that applicant is awesome. I know that they do this, this, and this. I would feel safe with them being a police officer. I think they do a great job. So the references tab should be a little easier on you than maybe employment or other stuff. So let's go ahead and continue to share my screen here. So I think I explained pretty well. Like I said, you're going to want all of this information. You're going to want to verify that it's current, because if we're reaching out to someone with a outdated, email address or whatever, we're not going to hear back from them, and it's going to make your background check take longer or not be able to be completed. So you're going to need to do your due diligence on that one. All right, guys, I think we are ready to move on to employment. All right, we're loading here. Okay, so I'm gonna leave here again. You are going to tell us every job you've had in the last 10 years, which is gonna be probably daunting, especially for those of us who jumped around as youngsters. And you're going to do it in reverse chronological order. You are actually not going to be required to put supervisor and coworker information for jobs that are beyond 5 years. So pizza place job that you worked at 10 years ago, you don't need to have contact information for your employer there. So let's go ahead and read these directions together. Okay. So do not leave out any employer or volunteer position you've had in the last 10 years. Supervisor and coworker information is required for your current employer. However, it is not required for employment that exceeds 5 years. Include work address, not home address of supervisor and coworkers. Let's go ahead and do one together. So I am going to do kind of a problematic employment history. I'm going to pretend that I did my most recent, but now I'm at like that one job I had 5 years ago that didn't go well for a number of reasons. So we're going to make something up. I'm going to say I worked at a cafe. The cafe. So I worked at the cafe and I was a hostess, but I wasn't that good of a hostess. We're going to talk about that. So I'm going to put the date that I worked there. So we're going to go to what was 5 years ago. We're just going to say 2019. And I worked there from, again, guys, I'm making this up. You do not make yours up, though. Let's see. So I worked there from January 8th to January 12th, which is not a long time. But uh-oh, guys, the cafe actually closed. They went under. So, and they never had human resources to begin with. I am going to do my best at providing the Mesa Police Department with the most similar contact for human resources that I can find. So we're going to make up Tim Taylor. We're going to say he was the manager. So he would probably be the cafe's equivalent to human resources. And I am going to do research and get his phone number, which is 123-456-7891. Let's see. That doesn't look pretty, so we're gonna do a good job and show the Mesa Police Department that we're not sloppy. At the cafe. May we contact this employer? Yes. Their address, 123 East Main. Best time to contact, we're gonna say their former business hours, even though they closed, which is gonna make this kind of a pain. So we're gonna say 8 a.m. to, okay, so I worked there part-time. Sorry guys, had my caps lock on. My duties at this job. I'm glad I'm doing this because I actually want to talk to you guys about something. So I highly recommend not typing directly into eSOPH. I recommend using Microsoft Word or whatever platform where you can type everything out, spell check everything, proofread everything in a platform that you're familiar with, and then go ahead and move it over to eSOPH. You're just going to catch typos, run-on sentences, stuff like that, and your writing's going to seem more be more professional. So I'm going to type into eSOPH, but I don't recommend doing that for you. Do what you would normally do and then move it over to eSOPH and make it look pretty. Sometimes the copying and pasting can create, you know, unexpected like spacing or something like that. So fix that. But for grammar and spelling and all that good stuff, you're going to want to go to Microsoft Word. So I am going to continue to share my screen, and I'm going to describe what I did at this job. So this job, I see. Okay, I definitely recommend typing more than this, but that's what I'm going to do for the sake of our time on this video. Guys, I have bad news. When I worked at the cafe, I left and I didn't give notice. I was a terrible host. I poured water on an old lady on accident, and I just was terrible. And also, it wasn't that great of a work environment. So I'm going to go into detail, and I'm going to admit what I did. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to make an excuse. I'm going to tell the Mesa Police Department, like, hey, yeah, I left the cafe high and dry on this date, and here's how I did it. So I'm not going to type all that, but again, you're going to have stuff in your background that is not you on your best day, but we need you to take accountability and not make an excuse. So we're going to give Mesa a heads up, like, hey, if you contact him, he's going to tell you that I no-called, no-showed, and never returned. I ghosted the cafe. We are going to continue this questionnaire, give our supervisor name, title, and again, the cafe closed, so, and that happens. We're all going to have jobs where we, especially when we're younger, that we worked, or they went under, or they were purchased by a different company, or what have you. So you need to do your best and use what resources you have to try to get Mesa in contact with these people. So you're going to look good if you're able to do stuff like that. We've arrived at the area. We are going to list 2 coworkers. Again, sorry to beat the dead horse. This is why it's important to not have your references be coworkers, because we can't double that up. So you're going to pick, you know, 2 coworkers that are going to tell us about your performance at the job, and you are going to give us their contact information. I remember, especially the jobs that I had when I was young, I had to resort to going through old cell phones to try to find people's numbers. And if I didn't find their number, I'd have to slide into their DMs on Instagram and be like, hey, I hope you're doing great. I know it's been a long time. I'm trying to get this job with the city of Mesa that involves a background check. Could I have your information? And for the most part, people responded back to me and they gave me their info and wished me luck. So I hope that's your experience. It People could leave you on red, I don't know, but it's important that you go the distance and try to get all that done. So let's see. So most of us have had more than one job, so we're going to need to go to add employer to add more jobs. And like I said before, reverse chronological order. So most recent first, working backwards for 10 years. So we're not going to fill this out. You're going to fill this out, but I'm not. Okay, and at the bottom here, there is going to be a questionnaire about our work history. So you're going to want to read every question and be honest. So like I talked about number 5, I'm going to have to click yes. And each time you click yes, you're going to have the opportunity to explain what happened. And this is where we are going to implement rule number 3 that I introduced at the beginning of the video, which is give as much detail as possible. And we're not going to make ourselves look better than we were. We are going to tell the Mesa Police Department what happened. No excuses. So I would explain, and again, I'm gonna go into detail. So when did I start working at the cafe? Or when did I quit? That's the real question. Yeah, so on the 12th, that was my last day, and I'm thinking back, yep, I remember what happened on the 12th. I remember what caused me to run away. So on that day, what was it? No, I should take my own advice and type into Microsoft Word. An accident. Okay. On this date, I accidentally poured ice water on an old lady and she yelled at me. So that's the beginning of our admission, right? But we really need to drive home that we understand what the appropriate response would have been and then turn it into what we did not do. So I'm going to further explain. I didn't even try to call them and let them know I wasn't coming back. I just left my apron. So again, we're taking accountability and we're getting all the ugliness out. We're going to refer to rule number 4 if you're uncomfortable you're doing it right. Again, read every single one of these things and you are going to remember that if you have that little tickle in your brain, like, I did something kind of like what this is asking, chances are you need to disclose that thing. So if you think the question applies to you or you think it's similar to something that happened, we want to hear about it. Let the Mesa Police Department decide whether or not you did what we're asking or if it applies to you. So we are going to go to, let's go to applications. So we want to hear about every application that you've submitted to other police departments, and we are going to find them. So be as thorough as you can because we're going to get them. I recommend, because if you're like, I don't really know when I applied, you go ahead and hit your email inbox and type in whatever department and see if you got any emails from them, and then you can get dates and all that good stuff. So, and guys, I think I kind of covered everything, even with just that one questionnaire. So we're gonna go back to background. Okay, so we are going to act like we just went through every questionnaire here, and therefore, oh, and we have some tasks we're going to sign off on. So we read that entire instructions page. We're going to mark that as complete. We're going to get a nice green check mark, which is going to make us feel great. Let's go ahead and go to our required documents page. Let's go over those. Okay, sworn required documents. Okay, so for your documents, you are going to need to have them on hand physically for your background investigator if they wish to inspect them, but you also need to upload them. Everything you upload is going to be a PDF. So pictures of things, that's not going to work. You need to scan it and get a PDF. Let's go ahead and read through this together and see if there's anything you and I need to talk about. So again, we already talked about the waiver form and how you're actually going to upload that into the agreements folder and not where your other documents are going to go. So let's talk about this paragraph right here because we need to talk about it. So I'm going to go ahead and read this out loud. You are required to take a face picture of yourself as well as pictures of all tattoos located in non-sensitive areas of your body. The face picture should be from the shoulders up. The picture must be clear against a wall and with proper lighting to ensure the picture is clear. Pictures of tattoos must be clear, close up, and include the entire tattoo. If you have tattoos located on sensitive areas of your body, you still must disclose each of these tattoos where asked in the following questionnaires. Upload all photos to the images folder of your applicant profile. Do not use your driver's license as your face picture. So let's go ahead and navigate to the folder that they're talking about. So where did it say? Let's follow directions together. So upload all photos in the images folder in your applicant profile. So let's go back to the dashboard. Get there eventually. And we're getting this because we still haven't uploaded that darn thing. Okay, so we're going to go to images. And we would go right here to upload the photo that we're going to talk about right now. Rule of thumb. For this photo, that is going to be your background investigator's first impression of you. It needs to be a professional photo. Now, I don't mean you need to hire a photographer or go to a department store and have it taken by a professional, but you need to appear professionally. So wear something that you would wear to an interview. Wear a nice top, tie, jacket, go the distance. Do your hair conservatively, makeup conservatively. You need to look like, oh, I want to hire that person, not I want to go hang out with that person this weekend. So you got to remember who your audience is. Your audience is your background investigator and the hiring sergeant. So t-shirts or just cool pictures of you out at the lake or something more casual than that. That's not what you want to upload. So again, shoulders up, make yourself look presentable, hireable, upload that type of image. Okay, like I said, that's going to be your background investigator's first impression of you, which kind of reminds me, your social media, clean that up. I think most of you know to do that as well. So we did all our questionnaires, our agreements, we went over our required documents and how you're going to need to upload those into the documents tab. Go through each of those required documents, scan them individually as a PDF, and upload them individually. Make sure you title everything appropriately so it's easy for your background investigator to find each document. Right, so speaking of documents, I want to take just a moment to talk about transcripts because those are going to be kind of not a pain, but it'll add to this process a little bit. Your piece of paper that you earn at the end of high school or end of college, your diploma is not going to be enough for us to verify your education. We want your official transcript. So you'll be required to furnish you will be required to furnish official sealed transcripts for any degree earned or other proof to support your educational claims. And like I said, diplomas are not acceptable documentation. Go to your school's website or whatever, service they use for transcripts and request them to be mailed to us. Or if you have them mailed to you, that's okay, but you need to keep them sealed in the envelope they come in and bring them with you. Don't open them. You don't need to upload anything, so this is kind of going to be a special document because you're not going to have to upload it into the documents folder. You just need to have it ready to go in those sealed envelopes. So I think that covers it. And you're going to need to do that for each school that you earn credits at. So let's go back to our tasks here. So we read it, and we're going to mark that as complete. We did our questionnaire. Okay, so like I said before, a lot of this is going to be redundant. So every question needs to be answered. If something doesn't apply to you, you're going to indicate so. So blank boxes, we don't like those. Don't do that. So let's say we did that. Contact info, we covered that pretty well. Personal references. Again, this stuff's going to be redundant, but we're giving you every opportunity to make sure that this stuff is all taken care of. You know what? Now that I'm looking at this, so I'm going to read this. I supplied complete contact information for all persons I listed, relatives, coworkers, supervisors, employers, roommates, landlords, personal references. Let's go talk about residences. It's going to be similar to employment. You need to list every residence you've had for the last 10 years, and landlord and housemate information is required for the most recent 5 years. And just like employment, you're going to do everything in reverse chronological order. So where are you living now? First, and so on. This part may or may not be difficult for you. You moved around a lot in the military. Thank you for your service. You do have to list all your residences and all your housemates, even the ones you didn't like. For some of us, our housemates are going to be past romantic relationships that have ended for whatever reason. We do need to include those people as housemates as well. It's important that we detail that. So let's see. Okay. We're going to go back to our tasks. So we supplied all our contact information. Mark is complete. Okay. You understand that failure to provide email addresses for people will result in a significant delay in processing your background investigation. You've told everyone listed in your questionnaires to watch out for an email, reverse chronological order for residences as well as employment. We printed, notarized, uploaded, and retained our waiver of liability and release form. Talked about that bad boy. All required images, a professional shoulders up photo, as well as our tattoos, is in our profile. Mark that as complete. Name change documents, marriage or divorce, we're going to need to upload that. All documents are clear and legible. PDF, people, PDF. Let's see. Complete and truthful information. Yeah, we know. We talked about it. You and I know, because you stayed this long into this video. You know what to do. Let's see. Okay, let's read this together. I read and understand that if I am disqualified because I am found to have been dishonest, intentionally misrepresented facts, or did not follow instructions, it will likely impact other hiring, pre-employment, or pre-employment processes with other public safety agencies I have applied to or may apply to in the future. This is going to be a fingerprint or a record of your background. It's going to compare to the ones in your past and your future. So do not hit submit on this thing if you don't feel that what you gave us was the most correct answer you could give us, or the most true. And because this is going to be a record, you need to save yourself a copy. So you can use the print button on the dashboard and print this eSOPH packet when you've completed it. We are not going to give you one. So if you choose to skip this and then your circumstances change in the future and you're like, man, I really wish I would have saved my eSOPH packet, maybe I'll call Mesa and they'll give it to me. This is your chance. Save that bad boy. Mark that as complete. Okay, documents, which are going to go over here, scanned PDF individually, but we're going to have them on hand to bring to our background investigator. Get yourself a nice folder or like a little accordion binder and have those ready to go. Let's read this. I understand I am encouraged to do a final review of all my answers and questionnaires and to ensure completeness, proper grammar, and spelling. I actually recommend, here, let me talk to you. I recommend going through this multiple times, different days, and also maybe get a close family member who knows all this stuff, so it's not going to be embarrassing when they read it, and have them read it as well. If you feel comfortable doing so. It's just kind of good to have a second pair of eyes to say, like, I don't know what you mean by that. You wrote about this incident, and this, I can't envision what you're trying to describe. So it'd be really good for someone else to tell you that instead of your background investigator. So if you have someone that you feel comfortable sharing this stuff with, have them proofread your stuff. So okay, before I click the submit button, I have reviewed all instructions again to make sure I fully complied with the instructions and requirements. Bam. And this is all stuff, these agreements, I just kind of want to do a final run through with you guys before you log off and get started. You're probably not going to click through all these tasks until you are ready to be done with this process. So I recommend just leaving them and clicking them and actually reading what they say and verifying that you're doing what it asks. So expect to see all these green check marks when you are done with this thing. Questionnaires. I'm kind of just going through to see if there's stuff that you and I need to talk about. You know, to be honest, you know, to be accurate, give as much detail as possible, which is going to be way more than just a few sentences, guys. You're gonna, too much information is probably what you're aiming for. And if there's something that you don't, know off the top of your head, don't just say, okay, I don't know that, so I get cut a break. No, find out. If you, like, I'm looking at these questionnaires and it's criminal history. If you shoplifted something when you were in high school and you can't remember how much it costs, you need to find out. You need to do some research and figure out, like, yeah, I'm probably on the hook for, $20 or whatever it was. Because if you fail to do that kind of stuff, it's going to make your background investigator feel like you don't understand the severity of the behavior. Everything is serious. Find out everything. And if you exhaust every effort to find something out and you still can't find it out, then so be it. We went over these questionnaires and kind of what you need to do. I'm not going to drag you through me explaining every single little thing in here, because we went over documents, we went over images, and yeah, other than this one little thing here, you actually should have already read and completed all of these agreements right when you signed in eSOPH for the first time. So you don't have to take action on these necessarily, but if you want to understand that the Mesa, what each of these forms mean and what you're allowing the department to do, you can print these out and keep them for your records. The same way you can print out the whole thing with the print function here. All right, guys. I think we talked about everything we need to talk about. I hope this video was helpful. Remember my little rules that were in the beginning. And if you run into something where you don't know the answer, call or email your background investigator so you turn in the best product you can. I think most of you are in that mindset, and this eSOPH packet is not only a verification of your life and your background, it's a verification of your mindset. So take this seriously. I wish you the best of luck. Don't get intimidated. It's just a long walk. You can do it, and I hope that you go the distance and I see you out on the road. So good luck. Thank you.